What does a ship, a laptop, and a reptile all have in common? They are all subject of conspiracy theories. G'day and welcome back to the channel. This video is part 2 of my series of conspiracy theories. The RMS Titanic was owned by the White Star Line Group in the early 1900s. The ship was commissioned in 1908, work commenced in 1909, and sea trials began in the early part of 1912. Under the contract between the White Star Line Group and Harland and Wolff, the shipbuilder based in Belfast, the contract required 3 ships to be built: RMS Titanic, RMS Olympic, and HMHS Britannic. Now, RMS stands for Royal Mail Ship. This indicates that mail was taken backwards and forwards between Europe and America. HMHS stands for His Majesty's Hospital Ship, and the Britannic was used in the First World War between 1915 and 1916. It transported injured soldiers between the Mediterranean and England. Fortunately, the Britannic struck a sea mine planted by the Imperial German Navy and was lost to the bottom of the sea. Sadly, 30 lives were lost. The Britannic was the largest ship that was lost during the First World War. So, what is the conspiracy theory? Well, it turns out there's more than one. The first one involves the sister ship, the Olympic. The Olympic was launched in 1910 and was involved in a collision with HMS Hawke in early part of 1911. The ship was taken to Southampton for minor repairs and then transported back to Belfast to undertake major repairs. Parts that were intended for use on the Titanic were used on the Olympic for its repairs, thus pushing back the maiden voyage of the Titanic. Had the Titanic made its maiden voyage as scheduled on the 20th of March 1912, it may not have hit the iceberg. The blame of the collision between the Olympic and HMS Hawke was placed upon the Britannic itself, and therefore the insurance company refused to pay out on the claim. So the conspiracy theory goes that the Olympic was rebadged as Titanic and was sent on that maiden voyage in April 1912. However, there are several construction differences between the Olympic and Titanic, which were documented and still are in existence today. The main difference was between decks C, B and A, and upon discovering the Titanic many moons ago, it was discovered that those differences were there, and therefore it was definitely the Titanic. The second and most ridiculous claim is that the Titanic was deliberately sunk. This was in order to eliminate 3 men that were opposed to the creation of the Federal Bank: John Jacob Astor, Benjamin Guggenheim, and Isidor Straus. They were fiercely opposed to the creation of the Federal Reserve Bank, and therefore it is claimed that they were eliminated. The J. Paul Getty Museum, or better known as the Getty, is located in Los Angeles, California. It has on display a piece of Greek architecture called Grave Naiscos of an enthroned woman with an attendant. A naiscos is what you and I know today as a headstone used in a cemetery. It was basically a statue that depicted the person that was buried below. The naiscos that we see here depicts a very well-dressed woman lounging on a cushioned chair. She's reaching out to touch the lid of some form of box that is held by the servant girl. Now, this particular naiscos dates back to approximately 100 BC. Whilst it is in rather good condition, we can see signs of damage, particularly on the left hand side. There is an entire wall missing, and the right hand of the servant girl is also broken. and also the lady's name is missing from the front of the nayscos. But you've guessed it, conspiracy theorists have suggested that this lady is touching a laptop. It is most likely a hinged jewellery box or small chest. It could also possibly be a waxed writing tablet, as depicted here. It is not a laptop. Some theories have gone even further to claim that the holes on the side that we see here are indeed USB ports. Unfortunately, as we all know, USB ports are rectangular. The holes that we see here were intentionally placed into the nayscos. They would have been used for an additional piece of marble perhaps, or a bronze attachment, or a place where flowers could have been placed. Since the discovery of the nayscos of the enthroned woman with an assistant, other Greek statues have been discovered and are currently being interpreted to discover if we can find out more inventions the Greeks came up with. David Icke was a very prominent member of the BBC's sporting programme. He was a footballer in his early years until he contracted rheumatoid arthritis in his left knee. This then spread to his right knee and then his ankles, elbows, wrists and hands, and quite possibly to his brain. He went on to be a sports presenter for local radio stations, including BRMB from my hometown, and then went on national TV hosting the sporting segments at the end of major news broadcasts. He then went on to host BBC's Grandstand in the mid-80s, which at the time was Britain's main sports programme. He quit that in 1990, and it was shortly after the departure that he started with his conspiracy theories. And in a 1991 interview on a chat show with Terry Wogan, he claimed he was the son of God, and that very soon Britain would be devastated with tidal waves and earthquakes. David Icke's main conspiracy theory is that of reptoid humanoids, but he also believes in many, many others. For example, the Moon and Saturn are holograms broadcasted by the reptiles, and we believe that they are real, that all science is bollocks, global warming doesn't exist, that time is an illusion, there is no past or future, just the infinite now, and he firmly believes that the Illuminati exist and that they are responsible for the following, but many others: the Oklahoma City bombing, 9/11, 7/7, chemtrails, and the deaths of Princess Diana and JFK. So David believes that living among us are flesh-eating, blood-drinking, reptoid or reptilian humanoids here to enslave the human race. He claims they are musicians, corporate executives, famous actors, and world leaders, such as, and not exclusive to, Queen Elizabeth, George W. Bush, Henry Kissinger, Bill and Hillary Clinton, and even Bob Hope. Who picks on Bob Hope? Recently, he has been named Paranoid of the Decade, and he has had both his Facebook account and YouTube channel taken down because of his wild and very dangerous theories of the link between the current health issue and 5G. David has his own website, which will be in the description below should you wish to go there, that just covers off many, many crazy conspiracies, the main one being the current health issue. But there are articles in there about Google attempting to swing the vote away from Trump, and so on and so on. So that'll do it for this video, part 2 of conspiracy theories. I really hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed putting it together. I had such good fun. More videos to come later this week, but in the meantime, thank you very much for watching. If you did like it, please please hit that thumbs up button. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe using the little icon in the corner there. Once again, thank you for watching. I'll see you very soon. Good day.